It can see you when you're sleeping. It knows when you're awake. It knows if you've been bad or good. So pray an Amazon employee with access to audio recordings of your Alexa conversations doesn't also avail themselves of the ability to look up your home address, for goodness sake. Um, Another great story, this time out of Massachusetts. Let's hear what the great Vox has to say about it real quick before we get into it. Massachusetts woman is suing Amazon on behalf of her 10-year-old daughter and is seeking a class action lawsuit to sue on behalf of children in 8 states. The 8 states are Florida, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Washington. All require dual party consent for the recording of oral conversations. So that's basically um, her reason for bringing up the lawsuit. Maybe money as well, maybe notoriety. But it kind of brings light to a greater issue, really as a whole. Um, it takes no great leap of imagination to be considered uh, that Amazon is developing voice prints for millions of children that could allow the company and potentially governments to track a child's use of Alexa enabled devices in multiple locations and match those users with a vast level of detail about the child's life, ranging from private questions they have asked Alexa to the products they have used in their home. I mean, my whole thing is, this is an actual thing, the Echo Dot Kids. So it's already a product. Um, this is from Mashable. Amazon Echo Dot Kids edition violated children's privacy law. This is, from last month, but it goes on to say, despite their popularity, parents have voiced concerns about smart speakers in recent years. Why are y'all buying them for kids? If that's really a problem, if you're really worried about your kids' privacy, don't couldn't they just have like a regular Bluetooth speaker? Way less expensive. I don't think it needs an account either. I'm pretty sure that thing needs an account. I don't think you pay for the account, but and it also goes, that the federal law has been in place for 2 decades, talking about the Children's Online Privacy Act, and exists to protect the personal information of children under 13 who use online services. But there again, there's so many kids that probably have fake YouTube accounts so they can watch certain videos, and certain accounts where they can download and watch certain movies and games, things like that. Kids are devious. You remember when you were a kid? You were so honest as a kid, weren't you? You were the most honest little angel, just like your mom always brought up. Does Alexa illegally record children? Obviously, but let's see what this has to say down here. When children say a wake word to an Alexa device, the device records and transmits the children's communications in the same manner that it handles adults' communications. Neither the children nor the parents have consented to the children's interactions being permanently recorded. Now, most likely those are in the in-use terms of service for the device. In a little booklet somewhere, you probably never read it. And if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure whenever you sign up for different apps, let's say, so you sign up for an app, it says, "Can we use your camera?" This, that, that. So when it asks, it probably just says, "Can Amazon?" Like maybe it goes by Amazon the shopping. So you already gave the Amazon shopping app permission to go into your thing. It can already go in, right? Um, so it already has access. You already gave it access to your camera. I've got one of those little camera things over my camera on my laptop, one of the little slidey ones, the Targus. Who's watching me? I'm actually trying to get people to watch. But the thing is, that little bit of security, that little bit of peace of mind. But this, we've known that these companies have been recording, tracking. It's kind of funny. You'll look at something online, or I've even talked about things in life, and then an advertisement will pop up. Even something so weird as like Wish on my phone. I'll think of something, or maybe search it on Google. And obviously Google sells your information, so Wish saw that I was looking for something on there. It was like, well, we got something really Chinese and knockoff. We got you. You know, it's kind of amazing. Uh, the employees. I mean, this is a little bit older one from a few months ago about the whole Amazon thing. But it says down here, while many of our specific questions were not answered on the record, a spokesperson did provide a statement downplaying the scale of the issue. Access to internal tools is highly controlled, but they're there. So, I mean, you can gain access, right? They're highly controlled, but who are they controlled by? Just humans right now. And is only granted to a limited number of employees who require these tools to train and improve the service by processing an extremely small sample of interactions. Our policies strictly prohibit employee access to our use of customer data for any other reason, and we have a zero tolerance policy for abuse of those systems. I mean, that's once again that's internal checks. So I mean, unless someone internally drops the hammer on somebody internally, we'll never know anything about anything. And the only thing this has come to light is because this lady in Massachusetts has got a class action lawsuit. I mean, really, the parents shouldn't be having that stuff around their kids. I mean, there's a lot bigger issues nowadays, like the 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 GAY agenda. You know what I'm saying? Also, also on the Geek Wire, they have got the little document here. Millions of Americans use Amazon's smart speaker technology, Alexa, in their homes. People speak to Alexa-enabled devices such as the Echo and Echo Dot about everything from mundane "Alexa, what's the weather?" to the deeply personal "Alexa, what are the symptoms of depression?" And this is in a court document. That's really kind of weird. Most people believe that they speak to an Alexa-enabled device. It converts their voice into a set of digital computer instructions. They expect that this digital query is sent over the internet for processing, that a digital response is returned, and that the device converts the response into Alexa's voice. They do not expect that Alexa is creating and storing a permanent recording of their voice. This exception is reasonable. It would be easy for Alexa to work this way, as numerous other voice recognition technologies do. But Alexa does something else. After Alexa processes a user's commands, Amazon saves a permanent recording of the user's voice to its own servers. It then analyzes and uses these voices recordings for its own commercial benefit. Huh. Well, that's fucking interesting, isn't it? These uses include allowing workers around the world to listen to the voice recordings and creating voice prints of users, which basically, like, so you can, I mean, just for instance, if somebody rises to prominence, and they've got enough voice recordings of them, it just goes hand in hand with the deep fake thing. You got enough pictures, you can put Sylvester Stallone's face on the Terminator and make the Terminator scene from Last Action Hero a real thing, just like they did. But with enough audio, you could do the exact same thing. Because we're not talking about like a reasonable facility, we're talking about truth to the brand, even the way the inside of someone's mouth sounds. That's what they're really trying to do. They're actually, most likely, since Google's into AI and things like that, they're probably trying to really get their AI speech thing going. Not going, but perfect it, and the way you can manipulate things. And you can, they probably have it where you could speak into it and then it almost acts like it's mimicking your voice, right? But it learns, like, that's what it's doing basically, just learns over time, just like the deepfake thing. With enough examples, it can basically form, because the deepfake thing isn't like forming like all your vowels and everything like that. That's just making basically a 3D model that can be superimposed, but it's like, it takes a long time to process. It takes hours and hours and hours to do a few minutes, which is understandable. This goes on to include the rest of those states again, but that's pretty interesting. They can, your stuff's already up there for sale. I mean, a lot of people have, stories, anecdotal stories about them looking for a TV or even buying a TV somewhere, and then they see an advertisement for that like even the exact same one. It's kind of creepy. Um, but this creepy stuff's been going on forever. It won't stop. I mean, they've got, the Alexa. What is that? Oh, I thought it was an Alexa microwave, but they do have stuff like that. They have the smart microwaves, the smart fridges. I mean, with everything with a camera and a microphone on it, I mean, it's convenience. It's super convenient. I mean, who wouldn't want to unlock something with their face? That's cool. Be able to talk to something instead of having to type it, instead of getting your spaghetti sauce fingers all over your thing to search for something. Be like, hey Alexa, but it's already recording you beforehand. Period. I mean, that's regardless. So whether you think it's not, it is. This is just proof, and it's just they're people are slowly trying to take action against the collection of data, the invasion of privacy that all these Silicon Valleys or companies are involved in. I mean, it's kind of funny, they'll slowly eat themselves with all the regulations, and they'll regulate people, out of the job, different things. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy in its own way, and it'll be all right. But appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, and love the comments. See you next time.